Laura here now. We'll start with Charles in the front. Go ahead.
Laura, congrats on the win. As always, your initial thoughts on tonight's match.
Yeah, I thought we did some great stuff. I thought we did some really good stuff at times. The girls worked really hard defensively. They have some threats, but I thought we nullified them a lot in regards to what they tried to do. Disappointed with the goal. Maddie's kicking herself, but yeah, just because of how it came about. And I thought it was completely against the run of play at the time, but goals change games. And I just heard Ainsley talk about it then. They came in right before half time, and we were talking about a few things we needed to just solidify before half time. And Ainsley actually was the one going, "We need a goal, guys. We need a goal. Let's go for it." And just says a lot about her, right? So, I thought there's still things that we want to get better at, and we're pushing ourselves to get better at, which, at such a late stage of the season is a great mindset to have. And just really, really proud of the group. I think to get into the playoffs, to be third as we are sitting here right now, after the year we had last year, is a phenomenal achievement by the group. The collective, everybody, staff, players, everyone bought in. I think we were the team that started pre-season the earliest out of all the teams in the league. We definitely did from a staff perspective. And that hard work is paid off to get where you want to be. Obviously, we know we've got one game left, and now it's sort of in our hands to bring a home playoff back to Seattle. So, we're excited to be able to have a breather. The 12 games in 12 weeks, we've never had to deal with that before. It's been an absolute grind. But we've got there in the end, and really, really just proud of the group overall and tonight's performance and just the whole last 12 weeks, honestly.
You spoke about Ainsley a bit there. Can you talk a little bit more about what you've seen from her the last few weeks with these starts?
The thing that Ainsley has, which is so unique for someone of her experience, is she is already a leader. Already. It's already in her. And she's not afraid to use it. And that's what makes me really smile. Because one, we preach about our environment and now enabling people to do that. And she's a really good example of someone who's doing it. And then her play, her passing range has always been exceptional from the day she walked into our club. The part of the game that she had to just keep moving on and getting better at was all the other parts of the game. How quickly people come and put pressure under you, how quickly the ball moves on when you're defending, all those things. But the last two games, I think she's been fantastic. And I was so happy for her tonight to, one, to get the goal, but two, to get the accolade of player of the match, because she absolutely deserved it.
First, I just wanted to ask, Phoebe didn't start today.
Yeah.
Somewhat unusual. We saw on Tuesday she was sort of doing a lot of stuff on the side. Mm-hmm. Just wondering if there's sort of a niggling injury there, just not fully fit. What's going on with that?
Yeah, she picked up a knock in the Bay game. That's why she came out of that game. And then, she didn't train until yesterday properly. And so I chatted to her and, it's Lou's game. I didn't start Lou because it was Lou's game. I started Lou because Phoebe wasn't available. And I spoke to Phoebes and said, look, if we need you, we'll use you. If we don't, we won't. And Maddie Curry's got a little niggle, nothing bad, but that was the reason for putting Phoebes in. And I thought Lou was exceptional. I thought she was flawless, honestly. Which, with the week she has and how emotional she mentioned it before the game, when she came in from warm-up and she had the little moment, I was hugging her thinking, oh, no. Because that's a lot for someone, but she was exceptional, absolutely exceptional, which is good. It's good for us because Phoebes is a huge key to the way that we play and the way that we defend. And the one game she didn't play this year was Portland away. So to sort of let the group feel what it's like to potentially not have Phoebe, not because we don't want to have Phoebe, but touch wood, if something ever happened and we didn't have her, now they know they can do it, right? I think that's a huge mental thing for us as well. So, but none of it's major. Sally will be back by Orlando. if this was a playoff game, Sally could have been available today. Anna the same. Phoebes would have been, if this was a playoff game, she'd have played. So we're in a good spot. Obviously, we send them all off now onto international duty, and I pray they play 0 minutes. So, selfishly.
I wanted to ask you about Mia Official.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot. We know that the goal is long term, right? Your focus is long term with her. She's done some good stuff, but hasn't really gotten on the score sheet yet.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is maybe what's missing, or what she needs to figure out to be the kind of player she can be?
Honestly, I thought tonight she was really good. She had that chance off the corner. It was inches. Last week on Jess's goal, she does a great near post run, which creates the opportunity, and she's just grinding away. And she's had a niggle too, But I think getting her back out again, getting a good 65 plus minutes into her, I thought she held the ball up really well. I thought her and Maddie Mercado worked well off each other. And now it's just a matter of getting her in those moments more and more and more. And we're at the stage of the season where obviously Jordan Heitmer was sick, so she wasn't available today, where Mia's responsibility is to do the defensive side of it, hold the ball up, and if she can get in goal scoring positions, great. Come next year, that's where we'll sort of really kick in. A good pre-season under her belt, and really start to push, because these are the most minutes Mia's played in 2 years. So I'm just very mindful of that.
And then you mentioned Maddie Mercado drew the penalty to get that game winner. Just what has bringing her back from loan added to this team and sort of changed what you can do in terms of the lineups?
Yeah, options, right? Options. She's different than Mia. She's different than Coco. She's different than Jess. She's a little bit different than Jordan. They're probably the closest to a similar. And obviously with Lynn not being available, someone who has the pace and the power to get in behind teams, which Maddie has. I thought she was great.
Utah came right out, cracked one on goal pretty quick, and Claudia had to really flail for it. How much was that useful given the emotion of the night to have kind of a punch in the face right to start?
I actually, I mean, you know me, I hate all that, but I don't want that ever to happen. But I actually sat on my cooler and was like, okay, yeah, it's a game, everybody. So I actually thought that it was a good wake-up call for us. And after that, we limited them to not great opportunities outside of their goal. And Claudia didn't have to make any really big saves. I can't remember after that. Tell me if I'm wrong. So, obviously we really pride ourselves on that. So we were happy with that.
So, Laura, please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like we've seen Huerta and Curry play on the same side in spots in previous games.
Yeah.
But obviously maybe the McClernand injury forces them to start on the same side.
Yeah.
What do you like about having those two on the same side as opposed to kind of like your bookends?
Yeah, I think the thing with Soph is she can play lower and she can play higher. We know how good her crossing ability is. You saw it multiple times tonight in different phases. And I think Curry's been great for us. So consistent. But they're both very similar. So the way Utah sort of structure themselves is that sort of left-sided forward stays wide and high, but their right forward comes into the pocket. So that suits Lou down to the ground. I was convinced they were going to flip it when they saw Lou on the left, but they didn't. So Curry and Soph can deal with that really well. Soph's 1v1 to be able to get her body across people is exceptional. So I like the defensive side of it, and Soph can trigger Curry to get higher in the build. And you saw a little bit tonight that I think MC was a little bit more cautious at times after last week in the Bay game, which we spoke about, and it's not about her really, but I think the cool thing tonight was we went to a back five, which we haven't played for a while, but we were aggressive in it. And we reaped the rewards of it when we got broken, that we have bodies around the middle of the goal that we reduce their opportunities to get good opportunities and chances in those moments.
Another Huerta-focused question. So she went on loan, I think, September 12th last season. Mm-hmm. And not to bring up bad memories, but I think you lost 6 of the last 7
Thanks
last
for
year
that.
after that loan. Obviously, you're finishing the season way better. You have
Yeah.
young players, but like aside from the new young players, or maybe like mostly because of them, what's different? What's the main difference that you can see in this squad?
From last season? Belief. I think the young players that have come in, the ones that were here last year, have developed. Emery's developed, Jordan's developed, Ainsley's developed. I think the bringing in of Maddie Curry, Maddie Darlene, Mason, Sammy coming back off loan, huge. Sally, there's so many that have had big roles to play. And honestly, the one person that I'm going to give her a load of credit, and I've said it a lot, is Lynn. Because Lynn's a bit of a Lou, and she's a glue. She brings everybody together. And obviously you guys haven't got to see that as much as maybe we would want, but we see it every day. And Lou and Jess have an unbelievable legacy at this club. But last year, the void of Pino not being here was challenging for them. And Lynn isn't Pino. She operates very differently to Pino. But she filled that leadership void a little bit, and also empowered and, just really empowered Lou and Jess. And you saw this young group really come back into being with those two again. And honestly, that's been like the highlight for me all year is how much the young players have embraced the leadership and how much the leadership have embraced the young players. And honestly, it's just exciting. You guys know I hate saying rebuilds. I don't love that. I think this league's too challenging for that. But at the start of the year, if you'd have told me with one game left we'd be in third position, I'd have told you you were nuts. So, I think that's credit to the group. It's credit to the staff and everybody that there's this belief in them, and they believe and they really, really want to do it for each other. And that sometimes is more powerful than, big names on a team sheet.
All right, and then we'll go over to Zoom. Nico, go ahead.
Hi, Laura. Congratulations on the win and the playoff berth secured.
Thank you.
Wanted to talk about some stats.
Oof.
From the first half and second half. The expected goals for the team more than doubled after halftime. So what does that say about the determination and will to score and to find that result for the team, and how that will really carry the team through the playoffs in these difficult fixtures to come?
Yeah. I think we're a bit of that team. Like I would be surprised if any first half we have more chances than second half. I feel like we're that type of team. I do not love XG. I've said this many a time. But I do believe that we get momentum in second halves. I do believe that. I think that's the type of team we are. I'd love us to be more than that. But yeah, I think being able to bring on the likes of Jess and Phoebe, huge, and the shift that the other forwards put in. Often we would make more changes higher up, but they were doing brilliant on both sides of the ball. And I think what Ainsley brings is her passing range. Her goal's a great example of that. And as the game starts to get stretched, she can find people. And I thought Soph was similar in the second half. So, yeah, I think everyone knows that about us, to be honest. I'm sure the team talks are try and put them to bed in the first half because they're going to come out in the second half. And we tend to finish strong. So that's an exciting part of this group.
And a bit of an unrelated question to the game, more of a Seattle sports question. Of course, after the Mariners win today, they're one victory away from the World Series.
Yeah.
So do you have any statement for that on Seattle sports and what that means for the city?
Oof. Well, I've never watched baseball, but somehow today I was locked in on watching baseball. So it was about to the time we were about to start to warm up, and I'm stood watching baseball. I do not understand it at all. The amount of pitches, I don't get it. But I knew that I understood the gravity of the win. And that's great. You know, we've said this for as long as I've been here. This city is about sport. It's a sports city. And it also loves winning, right? And, you know, some of the other cities around the US, I think of LA as one, they love that title of like they love to win. This city loves to win. They back winners. I remember the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl. The city went nuts. I'd only been here a year. The Storm, people rave about the Storm winning their championships. When we've won Shields, people have gone nuts. Obviously, the Sounders winning the League's Cup this year, phenomenal, and obviously hope for more towards the end of the season. And let's get the Mariners in the World Series. Why not? You know, and then we'll take the championship to the Bay, and all will be happy, and we can all have a big parade together.
Thank you.
All right, and then we'll take one last one from Callahan. Go ahead.
So
You've talked a fair amount about winning games this year that you wouldn't have won last year. And do you think today was another example of that? And if so, how does that sort of preview how this team's going to move in the playoffs and in 2026?
Yeah, I don't know about this game. Maybe this game we'd have drawn and not won last year. I don't think we'd have lost it. Yeah, we just have belief. We totally believe that we can turn games around. We believe that when we're winning, we can see them out. There's only one game this year we haven't done that, and it is a bugbear for us all year since Chicago. And that's what I love about the group is like we make mistakes. We do. Tonight we made some mistakes, but we don't tend to make the same ones. And that's because we're really dedicated on learning and being better. So yeah, I think I'm excited for what this group can be now, and I'm excited for what this group can be in the future because I think it's got some unbelievable talent in it that we're not even scratching the ceiling with a lot of them yet.